Welcome to the ADHD channel where we hyper-focus on a single card until we break it. Today's star is Varolz, the Scar Stripped. It's a 3-mana 2/2 throw warrior. It's in Golgari colors and has a unique set of abilities. What he can do is he gives Scavenge to all the creatures in your graveyard, and he can also sacrifice a creature to regenerate himself. What makes him unique is that he is the only commander in these colors that both has a +1/+1 counter synergy tied to him and a free sacrifice outlet. This version of Varolz is a little bit different than your standard commander deck. It does not use any ramp or removal. Yes, we are green and we are not using ramp. We are not using soaring in a commander deck. I know, scandalous. But the whole deck's idea is to abuse that precise time window where everybody feels safe and they just ramp and set up and play utility creatures. We are trying to attack them as much as possible with trampling threats that scale and scale fast, so people don't have time to play their value engines. First things first, we need to mill ourselves. And for that, we're going to use the standard 3 dredge cards. The first one is Golgari Grave Throw. It's a dredge 6, nothing else matters. Life from the Loam, which is a dredge 3 card, and a lot of things matter because it helps us rerun our lands. And of course, Stinkweed Imp, which is my favorite card among these. It's a dredge 5, but the creature has flying. And that flying keyword is very important for us to beat people up. Here are some of the best examples of cards we can scavenge. Death Shadow, Phyrex, and Dreadnought. Of course, these are your two biggest bombs. You are using them to close out the game. But Moon Shadow, Monoist Sentry, Bristlebane Battler are very important to note as well. Mainly because Moon Shadow and Bristlebane Battler can be used as carriers. Both of them have evasion and one of them has ward. This deck essentially is a turbo deck. We don't really have a lot of time or resources to spend on milling and discarding, so in order to fill our graves, what we need to do is just draw a bunch of cards and discard to hand size. Abusing game rules is completely legal, right? Because of resource constraints, most of these cards are doing double duty, and this is the beauty of the deck. The commander itself is also a free sacrifice outlet, so all of these draw engines are free to abuse. Speaking of double duty, Genova Ancient Calamity does exactly that. She can transfer counters to our creatures, and if we scavenge onto her, those counters get out of control real quickly. And also, if a creature dies, we get to draw cards equal to the power of that creature, which gets ridiculous really quickly. Skullbriar, if we scavenge onto him and he dies, we can scavenge him and retain the same counters. Splinterfright, he mills us, he has Trample, and his power and toughness are equal to the number of creature cards in our grave, so we can just pay 3 mana, scavenge him, and add like 15 counters to another creature. Terra Symbiosis makes the scavenge ability ridiculous. Imagine just scavenging Phyrex and Dreadnought onto another creature and drawing 12 cards, because why not? Savanti Romero times Exile. He's a beatstick. He's a 4/4 trampling creature, but also gets a counter on every combat, and then you draw cards equal to the amount of counters that he has. Well, if you scavenge onto him, again, you draw a ridiculous amount of cards. Pima Trailblazer, yet another trampling creature that can just draw us a lot of cards. What is a deck without some pet cards? Let me introduce you to Kind Treacherous Dragoon. He has flying on your turn, and whenever he deals combat damage, the other player gains control of him. You get to draw cards and create tapped treasure tokens, which isn't all that good. But let's say we scavenged onto him a Monoist Sentry. It's a 1 mana 4/1. 4 counters aren't all that much, but we're not greedy here. When he connects, you get to draw 6 cards and create 6 tapped treasure tokens. That's great, right? But what if we sacrifice him with the ability on the stack, so we get to draw the cards, get the treasures, and nobody gets control of him? Next up, we have some token generation with 10 the Pests and Nested Shambler. Both of them work great with scavenging high power creatures, and both of them generate a lot of tokens. You can use Varolz to sacrifice those tokens and get benefits from Death Presence, Death Reap Ritual, Motor Vine Reclamation, gain some life, draw some cards, move some counters. To close out the game, we can use Gerard Gugali Glitchward. He has an activated ability to sacrifice a creature and deal damage to everybody, uncheck the Emerald Radiant, which generates a lot of insects that we can sacrifice and deal damage to our opponents, and of course Tyvar the Pummeler, who is a overwhelming stampede on a stick, so we can always trample over our enemies. Of course, we run a package of counter doubling. We are running Winding Constrictor, Loading Zone, Corpsejack Menace, and Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. Loading Zone is noteworthy because it has the warp ability for 1 mana, which is very important whenever we are running tight on mana. And Vorinclex Monstrous Raider is, again, a very good card in this deck, mainly because it has Trample Haste. Like, of course, it doubles tokens and does a lot of other stuff, but it has Trample Haste, so it doubles down as a beater. Probably the best card in this deck is Outer of the Wretched. It's an artifact that allows us to sacrifice a creature, draw cards, and mill cards equal to that creature's power, which is ridiculous in this deck. We can also return it from the graveyard to our hand to repeat milling and drawing. But what is very important in this card is that you can craft with one or more creatures, which means that you can pay for exile any number of creature cards from your field or grave, and it gets the combined power of all and the combined keywords of all. That is often a game finisher in this deck. This version of Varolz is an absolute killer. You can find the full deck list in the video description. I didn't go through every single card because I didn't want the video to go too long. Like aggressive builds and aggressive commander styles, you can follow this channel, you can like the video or leave a comment. It will be much appreciated. And in the future, I'll be doing more deck decks on aggressive takes on different commanders.